So now let's use SPSS for two dependent samples. Okay, or in other words, two paired is another way of saying that. So the paired sample t-test for the difference between means, as we did in section 8.3. All right, so let's take a look and see how we set this up and then how we use SPSS. So a researcher claims that a post-lunch nap decreases the amount of time it takes to sprint 20 meters after a night with only 4 hours of sleep. So table shows the time, so the times without the nap and the times with the nap. Okay, and let's see, it's 5% significance. Is there enough evidence to support the researcher's claim? And make all the relevant assumptions here. So we're trying to show whether the nap decreased the time, the sprint time, so that the nap was beneficial in a sense. All right, so the way we're going to look at it, I'm going to say, let's let x1 be the sprint time without nap. So this is going to be no nap. And x2 is going to be the sprint time with nap. Okay, so this is going to be nap. All right, and then let's say we set up the difference as x1 minus x2. All right, so this is the hard part, is really sort of figuring out how this is supposed to work and whether we're talking the mu distance, the mu d, the mu difference here is positive or negative or zero. So if we're looking at the difference to be the without nap minus the with nap, okay, we're expecting, so the way this researcher has claimed is that the nap decreases the amount. So without a nap should be longer than with a nap. So without a nap should be longer than with a nap, meaning that we have a bigger minus a smaller number. And so this researcher seems to claim that the mu d is greater than 0, meaning the times decrease with a nap. Okay, so that would be, the better improvement in this case. All right, so knowing that, that means that we can set up h sub a. So mu d greater than 0 is the claim, and mu d less than or equal to 0 is then the null hypothesis. This is right-tailed. So we have to make note that this is a one-tail, and we have been given that alpha is 0.05. So let's see how we set this up. All right, first off, again, we have to input the data in SPSS. And the way we're going to do it for the paired sample is we're going to have them next to each other. We're going to have the no nap and the nap, and here's the 10 no nap times, and here's the 10 nap times. Okay. So let's go to the SPSS and see what we have. Okay, so here are all our no nap times and our nap times listed as such. And so this time what we're going to do is we're going to go to Analyze, Compare Means, Paired Sample t-test. Okay, so it's going to bring up this dialog box. So we have to tell it how we're pairing these. It doesn't automatically know. So like we said, we're going to let variable 1 be no nap times and variable 2 be nap times. And we're looking at the difference between these. Okay, so you could do different pairs of other data if you wanted at the same time. We're just doing the one here. So when we click OK, we get our output. Oops, here we go. Bunch of individual statistics on the two samples, some correlation things, let's ignore that, and some pair samples test. So here's our information. Now remember, we're really doing a one sample test on the differences. All right, so that's why just the one set of data here. So no nap minus nap. All right, so what do we see? Let's go all the way over here. We have our t-value here, and we have our p-value over here, namely our two-tailed version. Now we are doing a one-tailed version, so we're going to have to take half of that. Okay, so that's how we got the data. So let's go back. All right, let's go through again. So this was how we chose the test, the paired samples t-test, how we broke up the variables here, and this is the output that we got. So let's dive a little deeper. Here is our t-value, and again there is our sigma, but again that's a two-tailed sigma, p significance, but that's a two-tailed significance, so we have to take half of that. So our p-value is indeed going to be 0.002 over 2, or in other words 0.001. All right, so I'm going to take that 0.001 and I'm going to compare that to my alpha of 0.05. Well, that's less. So this says reject H0. Always, if your P is less than alpha, you reject H0. Now we have to remember what we were talking about here. So if we go back, we were talking about the HA being mu D greater than 0, and that was our claim. We found that we reject H0 and bringing us to HA and supporting our claim here. We're in a support mode, and we're supporting our claim. So there is enough evidence to support the claim that the nap decreased sprint times. Okay.